For millennia, ancient calendrical traditions across Platonic, Vedic, and Slavic cultures encoded a vast cosmic cycle known as the Great Year, lasting exactly 25,920 years. Consult a modern astronomical catalog for the exact same celestial cycle, and you will find a different figure, 25,772 years. Looking at these two numbers side by side, an obvious narrative takes shape. Science measured the real number, while ancient cultures invented a mathematically pretty myth. The gap is explained, and the case is closed. Except that narrative is entirely backwards. It dismisses the fact that those ancient observers were conducting rigorous longitudinal science, and less obviously, it flatters the modern measurement into something it is not. Because the sky never wrote down either number, there is no exact eternal integer waiting out in the void to be copied. Both 25,920 and 25,772 are purely human artifacts. Earth's spin axis is not fixed. Pulled by the gravitational forces of the moon and sun, our planet wobbles, tracing a slow cone against the background of stars. This physical reality is known as axial precession. But the rate of this wobble is not static. Over millennia, the gravitational pull of other planets exerts a subtle drag, causing the rate of precession to continuously drift. Because of this constant planetary perturbation, calculating a perfect return over a 26,000-year horizon is impossible. The cycle is non-computable. The physical reality of the sky hands us a time frame that is fuzzy and drifting by its very nature. Which leaves us with a specific problem to solve. If the sky didn't give us those rigid numbers, where exactly did they come from? This equation represents the central relation of the observer-dependent theory of everything, R equals O of psi. Here, psi represents the underlying non-computable physical reality, in this case, the drifting, fuzzy mechanics of the sky. O is the observation operator. This is the specific cultural lens, the tools, or the mathematical habits applied by whoever is doing the observing. When you pass the messy reality of the universe through an observation operator, you get R, the final recorded result. Every scientific or historical record carries the structural fingerprint of its specific operator. Precession is invisible within a single human lifetime. Detecting it required ancient observers to compare star positions across multi-generational data archives. When they encoded what they found, they applied a very specific operator, calendar engineering. A society coordinating agriculture and ritual across centuries requires units of time that subdivide perfectly, without any remainders. This factorization tree shows why they chose 25,920. It breaks down cleanly into highly composite units like 12, 72, 144, and 360. It allows for shared divisibility across days, years, and vast cosmic ages, keeping an entire civilization synchronized. This heavy use of composite numbers produces a striking mathematical effect. Add the digits of 72, 144, or 25,920 together, and they all end up collapsing to the digit 9. In base 10 mathematics, every multiple of 9 has a digital root of 9 by construction. These calendar numbers were explicitly built as multiples of 9. The pattern is just the accountant's trick of casting out nines. It is simply the numeral system looking at itself. The ancient figure of 25,920 is a symbolic mathematical crystal, optimized by early observers for total cultural coherence. Modern astronomy observes the exact same drifting sky, but applies a different operator entirely, instrumental precision, designed so a global measurement community can constantly reproduce each other's results. The number 25,772 is not an absolute constant. It is a snapshot rate specifically pinned to the J2000 epoch, extrapolated mathematically into a perfect 360-degree circle. The moon's diameter is 2,159 miles, which looks incredibly close to a 2,160-year zodiacal age. But this match vanishes if you measure in kilometers. Unit-dependent matches are meaningless because humans invented the units. True physical regularities are dimensionless and unit-free. For example, the Sun's diameter fits about 107.5 times into the Earth-Sun distance, a cosmic ratio that remains true regardless of the measuring stick. Modern catalogs, complete with their error bars and epoch conventions, are instruments of modern scientific coherence, not final revelations. Tracking this cycle to a fraction of a percent makes both the ancient and modern numbers remarkable scientific triumphs for their eras. The discrepancy between 25,920 and 25,772 is not a measure of who was right and who was wrong. The difference between them is actually a precise measurement of the difference between the two observers. It maps the gap between their tools, their mathematical bases, and their societal needs. Every number we record is a fossil of observation. They prove we can never look at the universe without simultaneously seeing a reflection of ourselves.